Hello?
Hello?
Chandler?
Sorry, my car's Bluetooth never wants to cooperate.
Right there, I got it hooked up now. That should be good.
Ugh, felt that.
Hey, so you're kind of an expert on the whole Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, right? Well, I'm making this video that's kind of tied to it. So can you just kind of give me the rundown of the whole series?
Do you want the streamlined continuity? Do you want me to include all the troll games that Scott made along the way? Do you want me to talk about the shining turd that is FNAF World?
Emma, I don't know what any of that means. Just give me everything. Start from the beginning.
So it starts with the first game, and then the second game, everybody thought it was going to be a sequel, and it actually wound up being a prequel set 6 years earlier. Then we get around to the third game, which was going to be the last game in the franchise. That was Scott's original intention, and then everyone was like, Scott, this game sucks. Scott, this game is boring. And Scott was like, well, hold my soda-roni. I'm going to make a game that's going to scare the socks off of you. And so he made FNAF 4, the final chapter. We all know what happens when the fourth entry in a franchise is titled The Final Chapter. Looking at you, Mr. Voorhees. Anyway, then he made FNAF World, which is a complete departure from the survival horror roots of the FNAF franchise. It was an RPG game.
Do not pull down on the safety bar, please. I will lower it for you.
After years of production delays, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is finally out. I haven't seen it yet because obviously I'm recording this in the past, but it looks very promising. If nothing else, the animatronics designed by the Jim Henson Creature Shop look incredible. Personally, I'm a very casual fan of the franchise. I'm not obsessed with it like some people are.
Then if you want to put Fazbear Frights into the mix, that introduces the whole, parallel universes, because the Fazbear Fright books are not one-to-one with the game.
Thank you for choosing me.
Fazbear Frights has a time-traveling ball pit?
But as a horror fan, I think the premise is absolutely brilliant and the mysteries are intriguing. But of course, Five Nights at Freddy's isn't the only time we've seen possessed animatronics in media. And I'm not even just talking about the Banana Splits and Willy's Wonderland. Does Chucky count? Kind of, I guess.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Animatronic characters were first introduced in themed entertainment at the Disney parks with the Enchanted Tiki Room. And they got even more advanced when Disney built Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, the Carousel of Progress, It's a Small World, and the Magic Skyway for the 1964 New York World's Fair. And perhaps most relevant to this conversation, the most popular new attraction at Walt Disney World in 1971 that wasn't a clone from Disneyland was the one and only original Country Bear Jamboree. But 6 years after Walt Disney World first opened, the world was introduced to a rat. A powerful rat named
Charles Entertainment Cheese.
I'm not here to give a whole history of the restaurant because there's no shortage of videos about the history of Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza. It's instantly iconic.
If you grew up in the 80s, 90s, or 2000s, pretty much anywhere in America, chances are you've had or have at least been to a birthday party at a Chuck E. Cheese. And even if you haven't, you probably still recognize it because of pop culture.
Which brings us back to Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know what effect the series has actually had on the restaurants, but I feel like if the games had caused more of a spike in popularity, that would have resulted in them doing more to keep the animatronics around. But most of them have been phased out as the restaurants have been remodeled to be more modern.
You'd think that Chuck E. Cheese here in Orlando would have had good reason to keep the animatronics around, but I guess not. I gotta admit though, if they're not gonna have the animatronics, having these videos with puppets, I really like that. I wish they had more of that instead of just playing Kids Bop half the time.
Of course, I had never been to the location on International Drive before the day I shot this video, because I haven't been to a Chuck E. Cheese since I was a kid living in Las Vegas. But the animatronics have been replaced with the video wall you'll see behind me multiple times during this video, and in lieu of a playground, they actually have a very tiny trampoline park. But even though a lot of the animatronics are gone now, if you're my age or older, you definitely remember seeing them at your local Chuck E. Cheese. And while many kids love them, it's no surprise that they could be unsettling to some people.
What is this living nightmare? And why do kids love it so much?
I'm sure this has been a thing since the Tiki Room opened, and I've definitely heard people say that It's a Small World freaks them out. And that's for a lot of the same reason people are afraid of dolls, the uncanny valley. But Disney Parks animatronics have a much higher maintenance budget than Chuck E. Cheese animatronics, so I don't know, does that make the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics more or less unsettling? Regardless, Five Nights at Freddy's takes that fear, brings us to a place we all know, and amps up the terror with suspense and no shortage of jump scares.
No!
And there's definitely also some inspiration from Child's Play thrown in there.
You stupid filthy to jump with me!
See, I was never scared of Chuck E. Cheese or any of the animatronics at Disney as a kid. Tracy Tree from the Rainforest Cafe, on the other hand.
Hi, folks. My name is Tracy Tree.
Ugh. Anyways, Five Nights at Freddy's wasn't the only thing referencing Chuck E. Cheese that came out in 2014. Because Gravity Falls just so happened to do a whole episode where animatronics at a pizza place get possessed. And that episode is Seuss and the Real Girl. Technically, the title of this video is a tiny bit misleading because this episode of Gravity Falls actually came out on September 22nd, 2014, and Five Nights at Freddy's came out on August 8th, 2014. But this episode was in production long before Five Nights came out, and obviously nobody making Gravity Falls had a connection to Scott Cawthon, so as far as I'm concerned, this episode still essentially predicted Five Nights at Freddy's. In this episode, Seuss's cousin Reggie is getting engaged, and Seuss's grandmother urges him to go out and find a date for the engagement party.
I would like to see you settled before I ascend to heaven and live with the angels.
And with Grandpa.
No, he is not there.
Back at the shack, Grunkle Stan has this terrifying old gold nugget machine that scares children and does little else.
Sure, he's a little rusty around the edges, but old Goldie's a classic showstopper like me. Kill it! Kill it!
Oh yeah, it bites people.
Was that the bite of 87?
Seuss tries flirting and fails miserably.
Your face is good. I'm a Seuss.
And Dipper and Mabel are eager to help him out.
Seuss, you help us so much. It's time we help you, dude. We're gonna get you that date.
Mabel especially, because it's Mabel.
We're taking you where romance lives and fashion styles die. To the mall!
Ah, yes, the mall, where the capitalism is so strong that the Christmas decorations go up before Halloween.
Mabel gives Seuss some flirting pointers, but things still aren't going well.
So, you're probably a girl, right? Wrong? No, I was right the first time. Wrong?
Okay, clearly I missed something. When did this become an episode of Family Guy?
Stan lugged that thing all the way to the mall just to throw it out, I guess? And then he discovers a potential gold mine. Animatronic characters!
Take my money, take it all!
Oh!
And since Stan Pines is banned from Florida and can't go to IAPA and find one for sale, which is actually where all of this started, by the way, he tries to buy the badger off the manager.
You're in over your head, Gramps. Animatronics is a young man's game.
That is a complete lie.
Don't worry, Seuss. You'll find the right girl. You just need to stick with it.
Hey, you think Alex still has that wall of sticky hands?
Seuss hides from his cousin Reggie inside a GameStop. I know it's not called GameStop in the show, but that's what it is. Where he finds a game called Romance Academy 7.
Virtually improve your dating skills. 9 out of 10 basement dwellers recommend.
Yeah, I asked. They didn't have Romance Academy 7.
This is the third time someone's brought it back, and there's a note on it that says destroy at all costs.
Like the, oh, she's dead.
We'll take our chances.
Seuss starts up the game and is introduced to Giffany. He's quickly drawn to this virtual girlfriend he can't mess things up with. And it's almost like she's actually alive.
Yes, almost. Ha 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 ha.
Oh man, you have such a nice laugh.
The next morning, everyone wonders where he is, and Dipper and Mabel find him completely addicted to his virtual video game girlfriend.
So that's basically my entire life story. Now you tell me a thing about you.
They urge him to go apply these skills to real girls and bring him back to the mall.
Seuss, you don't have to wish it goodbye. It's just a game. It's not like it's going anywhere.
But even though the computer wasn't plugged in, she is able to leave and jump through different electronic devices. And after freaking out about how much harder things are in real life, Giffany shows up on some TV screens.
Giffany! Oh man, I'm so relieved to see you. Although, sort of confused.
The programmers tried to delete me, so I had to delete them.
Did I say this episode predicted Five Nights at Freddy's? Because it also predicted Doki Doki Literature Club. I don't know if the creator of DDLC was directly inspired by Giffany when creating Monica, but it sure feels like it. And presumably Giffany already took care of all the other girls in the dating simulator too.
Wow, that's awesome. Sort of a red flag, but mostly awesome.
And when Seuss rides around on a little kiddie train, he actually gets the attention of Melody.
Dude, that's awesome that you're a grown man riding a little train like that.
If you like robots for kids, you should check out the best restaurant of all time.
You mean
Hoo-Ha Owl's Pizza-Matronic Jamboree.
I'm free around 8.
Boom. Done.
Perfect. I'll see you then.
This is a really sweet moment. Once Seuss stopped worrying about messing things up, he was able to just be himself, and that's all he needed to do. He doesn't even realize what he did until Dipper and Mabel come over and celebrate.
You were in the zone, you made eye contact, it was like you'd done this a million times before. Don't you see? That game really worked.
You don't need it anymore. You can toss it out.
Seuss tries to break it to Giffany that he's found someone who's, you know, not a video game character.
Have you ever had to choose between two things you like, but you don't know which one is right for you? I mean, I'm just thinking long term.
It doesn't go well.
I won't let another girl take you away from me,
Giffany,
Seuss!
calm down!
You're mine, Seuss! Mine, Seuss!
Pause! Whoa, that got intense.
Seuss plans to return the game after his date with Melody, but, Giffany's pissed.
Sometimes a man has to steal an animatronic badger to stay in this crazy game called life.
I was gonna say that Stan was the one who stole Buzzy, but again, he's banned from Florida.
Man, I could go for some complimentary breadsticks right now.
Free breadsticks? This isn't Olive Garden. Or Fazoli's.
Anyways, the date appears to be going really well. That is, until Giffany appears in the arcade.
Take it from someone who brought an arcade game to life, this will not end well.
Don't worry, I'm pretty sure she's stuck on TV screens. Oh boy.
And then, we finally get the part with the animatronics being possessed.
Hello, friends. Hoo-Ha the Owl is dead.
Why are the kids not screaming?
Goes out to my forever boyfriend, Seuss.
Seuss, what's going on?
No time to explain. We gotta get out of here.
Capture them!
Who wants to get badgered?
So the rest of the animatronics are attacking Seuss, Melody, and the kids, while the badger just beats up Grunkle Stan.
Sorry, Seuss, but you can't run away from our relationship.
And this makes Maximum Overdrive look realistic. You notice how these skee-ball machines have the shields in front of them? Also, how would they I'm questioning the logic of a cartoon.
Seuss leads Giffany away from Melody and the kids and into the kitchen.
3 we split. 1, 2...
Mabel's the best.
I'm gonna eat your face like
pizza. Hang on, we saw this same animatronic destroy an arcade cabinet earlier, but now Melody can just knock it over with a chair?
You really think Melody is going to take you back after this awful date? I can download your brain into the game with me, and we'll be together forever.
Well, now I'm imagining a version of Tron where the MCP is actually Kevin Flynn's crazy ex-girlfriend.
But Seuss throws the disc into the pizza oven, destroying Giffany once and for all.
And that is gonna live in my nightmares.
Oh, and the gold nugget machine saves Stan from the badger animatronic, so he plans on taking it to Vegas.
Believe it or not, I've been on worse dates.
Really?
Never date a magician.
Ew, why would I?
Huh, I wonder what magician she dated, and no, that checks out.
That didn't come from my ear. You were holding that coin in your hand the whole time. I know your game, Prestidigit Faker.
And Zeus asks Melody to go to the engagement party with him.
Yeah, I'll still be in town then.
Still be in town?
I'm going back home to Portland in a few weeks, but we can video chat if that's okay with you.
A relationship with a girl that I can only see through my computer. Sounds perfect.
And during the credits, we get a montage of Grunkle Stan's eventful trip to Vegas, which includes shots of the Luxor and the awful roller coaster at New York, New York in the background.
Who's watching Dipper and Mabel while Grunkle Stan goes to Vegas?
And that was Susan the Real Girl. Like I said, it's got about as much in common with Doki Doki Literature Club as it does Five Nights at Freddy's, but it does play into that fear of how terrifying it would be if those robots became sentient and tried to kill you. Zeus is such a great character, and I'm glad the show did a couple episodes that really focus on him. And remember, if you're trying to find romance, the most important thing is to just be yourself and not overthink it. Also, if someone put a sticky note on a game that says destroy at all costs, don't play that game.
Happy Halloween, everyone. Until next time, I'm Chandler O'Shea, and I think I'm gonna go play some skee ball.
Then if you want to get really obscure, there was the game that was made for the Game Theory Live charity stream that was FNAF, I think it's like 52 Freddy in Space, which started as a throwaway gag and then became an actual game. And now, for FNAF the movie, Scott released FNAF the movie the game, which is Freddy in Space 3 Chica in Space.